Well, for the last 19 years, we've had a tradition in Black Rock City of a space that we all share for a variety of reasons, for transitions, for letting go, for remembrance. We've called that the temple. And the temple means many things to many people and has taken many forms over these last 19 years. This year will be the 20th temple and is being built by Geordie Van Der Bosch and his team, temple builders this year, right here in Oakland. Geordie comes from a background of architecture, and he's been working with the Black Rock City roller disco for many years, so bringing lots of joy to this year's temple. Ladies and gentlemen, Geordie Van Der Bosch.
Hello, everyone. My name is Geordie Van Der Bosch, and I'm the designer for the temple direction, which will be the temple for Burning Man Metamorphosis 2019. So it's been said frequently by many other people that Burning Man can change a person. And indeed, the theme of this year is metamorphosis, which is another word for change. I'm very fortunate in my life that Burning Man did change me, and it changed me for the better. And not only that, but I can remember that exact moment in time. And fortunately for myself, it was also recorded. This is that moment right here. This is a moment in 2012 when I was waiting for the Billion Bunny March to begin. And my band, I was playing with the Burning Band at the time. Like every other gig, they were late. And I was standing there with my bass drum and Stephen Raspa, and I'm sorry I'm repeating the story again, Stephen Raspa, but it just had to be done. He walked up to me and he said to me, "You are leading the bunny parade." And it was at that particular moment in time that I realized and learned that indeed I could be a leader. And today, indeed earlier today, I was leading the most beautiful group of people you might ever want to meet in your life, the temple volunteers. They're people that come every weekend and from a multitude of backgrounds, and they give their time and their energy to create the temple this year, the temple which belongs to all of us. And several of them are here in the audience today. I've been able to see him here. There's my friend Joseph. I think he's somewhere over there. This particular individual is actually interpreting for him, which I think is amazing. Ying and Sandrine and David Pillar, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for volunteering for the temple. So I'm very glad to be here and having this conversation with all of you, because you've all have been with me and in my head for a very long time. I've been thinking about each and every one of you and what you might need and what I might be able to provide for you with a temple. I'd like to tell you what I thought of when I was designing this temple for you. When I decided to design the temple, I spent a lot of time thinking about what the temple is. The temple is very unique at Burning Man. It's a unique piece of art because the temple provides a service. It provides something for everybody who attends. And I thought to myself, well, what is this service? This service is a place where people can come and they can leave or take what they might need. And typically, these things involve very powerful emotions like death and grief and loss, but it also includes happiness and remembrance and love. These are among the most sacred emotions that a person can experience in life. So I thought of the many sacred places that I've visited and seen and studied throughout my career and my life. And I thought of many ornate and beautiful and delicate and wonderful cathedrals and churches. And, you know, I thought those are very nice. But I also thought of some very simple places. And I've been fortunate enough to travel in my life. And I've seen places like Yasukuni Jinja in Japan, which is dedicated to the war dead. I've seen places like Temple Karnak in Egypt, which has endured for multiple millennia, and also Stonehenge, which is instantly recognizable in its shape. And when I thought of these very simple places, it reminded me of the playa, the place that we go every year. The playa can be a very, very simple place. It has sky and the ground and the mountains and the sun. I knew then that the temple, that I wanted to make a temple that created simpleness, that created sacredness through simpleness, and through simplicity would not impose itself on people that would visit it, but instead allow them to be themselves. So I designed with the most basic of elements, solid and void, and light and shadow. Simplicity, it seems so simple to achieve, but the opposite is true. And I went through many, many design changes, and each change I sought only to include the most essential elements, and I removed all the rest. I thought about life, and I thought about death, and how this journey of life through death can be thought of as linear, and so I made this temple linear. I thought about growth and change, and so this temple, it grows and then it diminishes. I thought about how sometimes in life something tragic can happen to you, and so this temple splits dramatically in the middle, representing that dramatic event. Here also I put a piece of art called the koi pond. The koi pond has a bridge. Bridges are symbols of crossing over or a connection between two entities, which I think is a good metaphor for a life-changing or a life-ending event. A person can also walk on this bridge and maybe get a new perspective. So this temple, it's a wooden temple, and it's clad with very many boards, this siding, and I look at all these little lines of siding. I view them as empty lines on a sheet of paper. And these lines, they're ready, they're waiting for people like you to come and to write your story and your tribute on them. I want there to be room for everybody to write their story upon this temple, no matter what it may be. And sometimes in my imagination, I see this woman, and she's a very cool person. She's a very wonderful woman, and she comes with a ladder, and she spends a lot of time in the temple, and she's writing on the ceiling. She's writing this huge, epic poem or story for someone she's lost, someone very important for her, and I want to make sure there's room for her. She's there for a long time. So as you can see, I've been thinking about everybody, each one of you. for a long time. And I'm just very glad to be able to provide this for you. And I hope that you might find what you need there. Thank you very much.